start an event or start a race that starts very early on a climb like this, you really want to come out of the pen really firing. And a rider that's going to come to mind tonight, and keep an eye on him, Jack Aiken. He was really impressive a couple of weeks ago for Subaru Anchor Point. He didn't seem to be in the bunch last week. I don't know whether he had a dropout or just didn't turn up, but certainly Jack Aiken, who sits in about 11th spot in the men's race at the moment, he's just doing enough right now, but this course certainly suits him tonight.
Yeah, looking at the gap here now, Aiken is going to be able to hang on. He's 7 seconds back. We are looking here. We're always seeing Cam Roberts, the leader of the NRS. They're off the back by about 8 or 9 seconds. He's with that group that might just be trusting at this point that these three cannot stay away. But two Innovation riders here, you know, Innovation putting two in the break. This is definitely a tactical move with Velo Club as well as S. Lindsay here going off the front with him. Lionel here now jumps onto that train and looking to hang on as they push the pace. And Canyon now having one in the break. Alex West, one of my predictions, there was actually a poll, I believe it was either on Twitter or Facebook. I selected Alex West as a favorite for the day. But being on the Canyon team with one rider in the break, I don't think he's going to be making the chase here. It's going to be up to the rest of the pack here. Brandon's going to be sitting in, I believe, also riding for Innovation. So there's not going to be, some of these stronger riders that are in this pack here, not going to be too interested in making the chase. We'll get back into this chase moment here between pack one, between the lead group as well as the chase in just a moment, because women have started their climb, and as you can see here, it's already starting to break up here. Carly Taylor from Rush now making her way to the front, and it looks like 9th place currently, but the current series leader, Whitehouse, now on the back foot a little bit as Shepard is off the front. Riding here, it looks like in the Vision kit here, 5.6, 5.7 watts per kilogram. The Kiwi here with that verified badge on, off the front by 14 seconds here. This looks like it might be all said and done already if she's able to hold on to this kind of the pace. 4.2 behind from Bree Wilson, currently second overall in the series. Has a gap on the rest of the field, but can she close down this kind of an effort here from Samara Shepard, who has just demolished this here, Pat?
Yeah, well, I spoke about it last week. She turned up last week for the first time in the series. She's a really strong rider, and I can tell you right now, she's not going to be easy to bring back because she has that ability through her mountain biking background to really sit at that threshold or even a little bit over for a race as short as tonight. And we can see that she's pushing around 6 watts per kilo. Can you believe it? She's really pumping it out, but heart rate not awfully high, 183, so she's 184 now. She's managing things. Pushing 300 watts at the moment is a significant effort. She's only a small rider. She's not a very big rider at all, but she has so much strength mentally. And I mentioned last week she has done extremely well at live events in the past. She's got a decent lead, almost 20 seconds it looks now, over the group that's chasing. Bree Wilson doing a great climb. Kendall Hodges there as well. Georgia Whitehouse starting to fight her way back up there. Taryn Heather, who's 4th overall in the series, is up there as well. Holly Harris, who had her first ride last week, was quite impressive too, is also in there. So still a pretty solid group of 15 riders in contention. And Shepard with a good solid lead, much like in the men's race, has broken up very early.
24 seconds now. That's going to come down a little bit here, but almost up to 30 here. She's gaining a lot of time here over the top of this climb here. Banerjee trying to chase things down. Heather, as you said as well, Specialized Women's Racing now trying to get toward the front here and work together, looks like here. The KOM team as well, trying to close this down, most likely for Bree Wilson, who's been their leader so far amongst the team as far as the points go. But it looks like there's a 49-second gap, and this isn't all in at this point. It's just solo TT and hope for the best. A lot of that's going to come back most likely on the downhill here. Back in the men's race, though, the action is just left and right on such a great course for this racing out here because it's just nonstop. The break was caught. And we are seeing here that it's calmed right on down here, and now there's a little bit of a chase group a little ways behind. Kim Little here in and amongst the riders here as well. Melville Howell is in there as well. Brian the Garbo is in there here, and it looks like Violson, along with I believe it was the Innovation riders, Lindsay and one other who had gone off the front there, but they have been caught. 5 seconds of difference now, and they're allowing this to come back. The question is, was there anybody in this chase group who has sat in and just trusted that this would come right on back? and has saved a few matches for the next time up over the top here. 4.9 miles in, or in the kilometers, I believe we're about, I think, 11 or so. We're actually logged in on the Nathan out here, so apologies to those on the kilometers. That's definitely not a kilometers. But Cam Roberts here, 5.3 watts per kilogram, the NRS leader here, playing it smart so far. We saw him following the wheels, Pat, in the climb, and I think he was trusting and has, gambled correctly here, rolled the dice that this would all come back together, and it's exactly what happened.
Well, just the watts per kilo is just unsustainable for those three riders that went off the front. And I was going to touch on that, just don't want to go too hard too early. This is a really solid group. Nick Squalari is in there too, a very good time trialist. Ollie Jones, Zwift Academy winner in the past. Albie Aquani, who is an ex-Australian road champion. We spoke about Jack Aiken already. Kieran Lewis, who's been very prominent in the series already. Great to see some new names. Dylan Hopkins from the Phoenix Collective National Road Series team. Jesse Feetleby is in there as well. So some very strong riders still to play some cards in this race yet. And there's still around about 35 riders in contention in the men's race. Troy Herfoss is also in there. And Brian Calea, who was really, really strong last week as well. So there's a really lot of racing to go on yet in the men's race, even though we had that really quite antisocial start off.
Antisocial start. Well, a couple of counterattacks here coming through. Innovation right back to the front. They're not messing around, it looks like. I'm not sure it's going to go much of anywhere. Maybe it's just a little more anti-social there on the front, but nobody's allowing him to lead the conversation just yet. Creel now at the back here, 6.5 watts per kilogram, now 1.9. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen. Real quick, for those who might be unfamiliar with Zwift and what all of the metrics are on your screen right now, on the right-hand side, you can see all of the riders, where their country flag is, where they're at, or at least what country they are representing as their home country on the right-hand side of the screen. The current place for the rider that we have selected, Creel here, 36 at the back of this pack of 36, as well as the time gap back to the next ones here, 125 looks like for Jay David to the chase group there behind. In the upper right-hand corner, you see the map as well as the gradient that the rider I'm currently selected on is climbing. And then you see at the top the metrics for the totals on the race so far. In the upper left-hand corner, that is the rider I've selected, their wattage, their heart rate, as well as the revolutions per minute, the RPMs there. So if you're ever wondering what all that is, the rider selected currently, that is the metrics for them on the screen. You also see their watts per kilogram on the right-hand side as well. So for the KOM though, a 209. 209 up and over the top is what was done in the women's race. We'll see if we can get the KOM for that as well. But Tamara here maybe struggling a little bit. This has been quite the gamble here. Shepard with only 16 seconds. And there is quite the pack of women chasing her down here. As you do see Bree Wilson sitting in, getting the advantage of, it looks like a few of her teammates there. Banerjee as well as MW, who are seeing quite a few of the KOM riders here in that yellow CRCA kit, you can see, trying to make that chase. Now Specialized Women's Racing making their way to the front here. It looks like there's about 9 riders in this pack here, trying to chase down the solo rider off the front. It looks like T. Heather here from Specialized Women's Racing here, moving to the front, 1.5 watts. Hodges now, 6 watts per kilogram, as you can see, coming through. 10 seconds is all it is. Will Shepard have burned too many matches? It's a solo TT, and with that kind of a solo TT, there might be the reality here that there will not be the effort to make that climb. Again, at that kind of like 5 to 6 watts per kilogram, I think that was an all-out VO2 max effort at about 2:30 to 3 minutes to the top there, Pat.
Oh, it certainly was a big effort, and although she's very strong, this group is working really well together. What I've seen is Justine Barrow. She's in there. And tell you what, she could put in a really strong climb next time around. Holly Harris remains in that group as well. Bree Wilson, who we've spoken about already from KOM Financial, really strong at this Send It series already. Anna J there as well, and also Meg. So they've got 3 riders in their KOM Financial. What's a bit surprising is to see in the second group Carly Taylor, Emily Roper, and Renee Butcher. They've lost some significant time. They'll have some work to do second lap around. I don't see them coming back into the fold. So Georgia Whitehouse looking very strong. She's leading the series. This is a pretty significant group in the front. But if you're not in the front group and you are listening to the stream, it's still important to ride on and finish, because if you complete 5 of the 6 Senate Series races, regardless of whether you finish in the front or the back, you go into the draw to win a fantastic group set from SRAM, Force Axis group set. That's their latest group set to be revealed. It's valued at about $2,800 US. I know I'd love to get my hands on that one, Nathan.
Yeah, it's an amazing prize put up by SRAM. You know, really cool to see. It's part of the SRAM Senate Series promotion there, and make sure to get to the finish line no matter what. 5 races finished, and you are entered there. So Shepard here now. Speaking of prizes to be won here, looks like she's got her eyes on it here. We're gonna give her a ride on it. This is quite the effort as she kicks back into 5 watts per kilogram here, and this may be able to stick. She's got another 2.5 or so kilometers to go to the lap banner here, and it came back down to now it's just under 10 seconds here for the chase, but it seems like it goes out, comes back, goes out, comes back. Now back out to 18 here as she entered her second, a little second section of the course here. So it looks like they're calming down on this chase. They put into some solid efforts here, but they just can't seem to get organized to bring this back. And the teams are going to have to start communicating. The question is, to me, is whether or not they are having some sort of audio communication here in order to really know who's putting the work in when. They've got enough teammates here, KOM, to really put a solid team effort here to try and pull this back. It looks like really specialized women's racing, though, is going to be the ones toward the front doing the work, while KOM sitting in a little bit here toward the back here, maybe believing that they can put a solid climb in to bring Shepard back here, that this TT off the front might not be able to hold the kind of kick that we might see from some of these riders that have been sitting in. I think that may be the tactic at this point, believing that Shepard will not be able, she'll be able to do maybe this 4.5 to 5 watts per kilogram all the way up the climb, but anyone sitting in at that 3.5 to 4.0 and getting enough rest, they most likely are going to have a fairly strong VO2 max effort and try and close that gap right on down here. This TT definitely was a risk here by Shepard. Back in with the men's, though, we do see it is a very calm group, and they are just waiting, it looks like at this point, for the all-out effort to the top of that KOM. It's going to be a 2 minutes, what do you got to the top for this climb here. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see what exactly that time was. Yasin there was the one who was able to throw it down. Lindsay followed up with a 2:10 there. 2:25 from Creel, so that's quite the gap between the riders there. 2:25, 15, 16 seconds. They're starting to climb here. Now this is not the KOM timed from the bottom here. You do cross a little line on the road when the KOM officially starts. So this is about, I believe, a 4 to 5 minute climb from the very bottom of this this start here now. 7% grade in the upper right hand corner, and it's starting to kick off here. I think we'll get a little bit of kick up front, but Granlund, 8 watts per kilogram, not holding back, it looks like. Hopkins here now as well, heading toward the front here. Velo Club again making himself known, and he was one of the ones that was in the break early on. Hopkins trying to chase it down. He was a follower and did not go, was in that chase group and did not go right off the front here. Now we do Fusion ECT, it looks like there. And a little bit of a gap on over, and now it starts. 2 minutes to the top. And it's going to be Velo Club to the front here. McAuliffe here as well. Hopkins, Aiken. You said Aiken is a good climber here. Maybe he saved it for this one here as he kicks out to 9 watts per kilogram and a feather power up. 197 beats per minute though. Can it go any higher, Pat?
Well, he's an endurance runner. That was his long distance running, was his chose the sport before coming to cycling, and I can tell you right now, there's something he can do. He can absolutely grovel. He doesn't mutter about pain, and he'll just keep pushing. Typical runner, doesn't want to draft, just wants to get out front and hurt themselves, because running, the whole aspect of running is that he who runs faster or she who runs faster and for longer wins, and that's the mindset they bring to cycling. I tell you what, Jack Aiken, he's really roared off the front here now, and This is what it was always going to be about. Not about who's strong lap one, and it was always a concern for me that those riders got away from the front. A group of three had a really substantial break, but they couldn't make it last. So that was a bit of a concern for me. So we'll see what Jack Aiken can do here. Can he pull some riders out of the group over the top, or is he looking to go all the way from here? With just about 13 kilometres to go, it's going to be a tough ask.
Jack Aiken here now, 8 watts per kilogram. He's steadily right around 7.5 to 8 here. Can he hold on to this kind of effort though? 205 beats per minute here, and that is definitely a runner's heart rate here, as you can see. Now, as we're seeing here, 6.9. Now, Roberts here though, Cam Roberts, we were talking about him. He is definitely one of the favorites in here, current NRS Series leader here, and now trying to close things down. Lindsay following his wheel very closely there, and this is starting to break apart now. You can see the riders here just looking for wheels behind, as they just want every inch that they can get, every little bit of energy that they can conserve while they're trying to make their way to the top as fast as they possibly can, looking for a wheel in front of them, not letting them go. It's going to level out just for a moment here, going 10% gradient, then it levels out, and then there'll be one last kick to the top as it gets up into those higher percentages in the teens now. Aiken, very risky attack early on. Now fading as he comes to the top here. 5.4 watts per kilogram here as it's a 2% gradient. Will he have another kick to the top? Will he be able to hang on and get a better KOM to the top of this here? Brandon now trying to chase that down. Looking behind here. Where are the chasers? Here they come. Up and out of the saddle now. Roberts going. Ollie Jones with that second kick over the top here. 7.8, 186 beats per minute coming from Ollie Jones, the Kiwi, riding for Turbo Squad in game here. Brandon follows it up. Large pack here. I don't think the KOM is going to win it, but it is going to definitely make an elite select group off the front here, as Jones fades a little bit. 3% gradient now as the pressure and that force from the in-game gradient starts to back off a little bit. It's a little bit easier to push the pedals sometimes when there is that force against them, when you feel that gradient here. Roberts here now kicking into 5.6, and another power up here looking forward. Arrow for the sprint to the line, as we do have, it looks like, Courage Murray here, last week's winner, Larson as well, 13 riders, group of 13 off the front. I don't think they're going to see him again. Herf Foss with, ooh, Arrow power up, that's pretty lucky. Will he be able to close it down? Throws down into almost 10 watts per kilogram, and it's 8 seconds though. It's going to be so difficult chasing down packs solo in Zwift Racing. Pat, it doesn't get much harder than that.
No, and I think unfortunately just not really enough of that aero power up. But this is a select group in the front. Jack Aiken, he may not have stayed away, but he certainly achieved his goal, which was to have a select group come up the front in which he could potentially go solo towards the end. Regardless, I've got to tip my hat to him because that was an incredible climb. We saw that heart rate peak up over 200. I think the reason that he really slowed down towards the top was all those ride-ons sitting in his back pocket. He's going to be pretty impressed when he finishes the ride. See just how many people gave him a ride on. His back pockets were absolutely chock-a-block.
But we are seeing the riders here now with a couple of attacks toward the bottom here, trying to get away to it. It's going to be, we lost the front riders for just a moment. We'll get back to them in just a second. But back in with the women's race here, they are starting their climb, and it looks like it is going to be still let out by Barrow here as she starts to climb here. Bree Wilson there as well, but Shepard here was able to hang on to about 12 seconds at the bottom of the KOM here. Bree Wilson here now putting in a solid effort to close things down. Second overall in the series right now, very motivated to bring this back here. Now Shepard here though with 15 seconds, and it looks like Feather power up here. A little bit of a nice roll of the dice on the RNG here for her with those power ups. If you're unfamiliar with power ups in the game, you do get them when you do go under a KOM banner, a sprint banner, or a lamp banner, and you do have a chance to get an arrow power up, feather power up, a drafted power up, or there's quite a few power ups actually you can grab onto. But Shepard here now, 5.1 watts per kilogram, seems to have the effort. We were concerned that perhaps she'd be unable to do so to the top here, but it looks like she took the risk, and it's paying off here as she seems to have 5.5, 5.6, even 6 watts per kilogram here on this climb. And I believe she might be able to pull this off here, Pat. This might have been the race-winning move on that first lap. As the other ladies not even in sight as we look behind her here.
No, she's definitely got a good break, but coming from behind, Brie Wilson and Holly Harris, they've got themselves together. They are in front of another select group, although they start to come across now. Barrow, Banajay, Taryn Heather in there as well. Georgia Whitehouse hanging on, the series leader. Kendall Hodges from Gusto, step forward, KOM Financial. She's doing a great ride as well. So this is going to be an interesting makeup of how they go when they get on the flat, because maybe last lap that second group, or the peloton now, wasn't trying 100% to bring back Shepherd, but certainly there's going to be some legs left. She's out to almost 30 seconds lead, so it's a pretty significant ride by Shepherd. But I'd love to touch on something for this series. I've got to give it to Zwift and also to SRAM for their support of this, because this is really putting these National Road Series riders on display in a greater scale than what they ever have been before. And I think this is really a great starting point for the future of both the men and women's series, as far as drawing more of these riders into Europe and the World Tour. So and from a personal standpoint, I just wanted to make that comment, because I think this is a tremendous opportunity for the riders, and I'm glad that they're turning up every week in massive numbers.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. It's talent identification, putting the names out there in front of the world here and racing against every level that you possibly could here. Now, we are seeing, it looks like Roberts here trying to close things down here. We're in the final Ks here of this race. RCC is out the front, but Cam Roberts here, one of the favorites we set up, from the get-go, leading the NRS series here, now looking to take the win out here today in race number 4 for the SRAM Sendit series. Closes it down the gap. This is not an organized group. This could stick in a very late attack rather than a sprint finish from the group here. Cam Roberts does not want that situation. He's been caught out the last couple of weeks in the sprint. I believe he just wants a all-out freight train to the line rather than a sprint finish here. Ollie Jones and the rest here on the chase, they're saving most likely some sort of a power-ups or a last-ditch effort to the line there amongst a sprint situation. Cam Roberts now 5.6 watts per gallon, holding on to Lascone here now, and it looks like Larson now, Dave Phil as well, closing things down. But because of those efforts, they're going to sap the legs a little bit before the sprint finish. But it looks like it's all back together. A match burned. Maybe going to pay for it in the sprint there, because it's coming up here in just about a K now, and Roberts now backing off as it looks like, well, they're holding on though, just barely. Not quite closed down. Are they going to continue? Roberts goes to the front and continues. 8.1 watts per kilometer. He saw them back off a little bit, and he's like, no, you're not going to catch me that easily. I'm continuing on with the speed. Will Roberts pull this off? Is he going to hold on, Pat? It looks like it might not work out here. It's going to be so difficult, just like in real life racing, when you've got these situations. It's one of those you're cheering for him, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but I can see this as a draw card out for the riders from behind. A good launch pad. If this was real life racing, I'd be licking my chops in the peloton, waiting for this group just to close in, and then the counter attack to come over the top. It's great to see Albi Aquani for Rafa Cycling Club doing such a ride. He's shown some good form in the first 3 weeks, but this is by far his best ride so far in the series. And a big shout out to him, because he turns up every week, and he's been racing from the Zwift HQ in Melbourne. So this is a great effort out front. This is this is going to be a real leg snapper tonight. The winner of tonight won't probably be the fastest rider, but it certainly will be the rider that deserves to win, because many of these riders that are left in this front group have had to work extremely hard to stay there tonight.
Just speaking of Albi here, we do see the live shots there in the middle in the RCC kit. We just saw him just climbing that little bit of a kicker there for a moment there, staying in the pack, as you can see, as we do have Carly on the right for Rush there, and the riders there at the Melbourne office right now hammering away. Look, if he can take the sprint there from the office, it'd be pretty cool to see here. We'll see what happens. Now Kurtzmer, though, last week's winner, though, he's got a sprint. We saw it. And as we're coming to the line, Bjorsen here, making his way to the front, jumping back into Zwift Racing this week. He said it was a tune-up race, but it looks like this is a little bit more than that for him. He's looking to take this win here. Aiken going to 12 watts per kilogram, way out here. Now up in 8 watts per kilogram, and we saw him up in the 205 beats per minute. Very late attack coming from Jack Aiken here now for Subaru. And now, will he be able to make this happen here? He's got about 10 beats to work with, as you can see. And he's got a 2-second gap here. They're sleeping a little bit. Cam Roberts says, no, don't let this go. 170 beats per minute, 11 watts per kilogram here. These attacks this late are really sapping the legs, and these might work out here. This course seems to be favoring almost those who just want to kick and get off the front and not have a sprint effort. These little punchers toward the finish line here, allowing these riders to use these gradients and put some hurt into the legs here. Aiken here, if he can get organized with Roberts, Roberts doesn't hold up. Aiken fading. Roberts says, no, I'm just going. I'm TTing away. 8 seconds, 9 seconds. He's got the gap at this point. They're letting him go. It might be done, Pat. Cam Roberts might win this outright.
Yes, well, he's done the smart move. He's done the counter-attack, and this is a huge gap now. 12 seconds between Cam Roberts and the group itself. In no man's land at the moment, my man Jack Aiken, I'm still stoked with his ride tonight. He just loves to hurt himself, and he's popping an aero power-up. Does he think he can make the junction back to Cam Roberts? No. Cam Roberts continues to push harder. 7 watts per kilo, 6.5 watts per kilo at the 24-kilometre mark. He has 18 seconds on the peloton. He has won every single round so far, the 3 rounds of the Send It series. He has taken out all 3. Now it looks like he's going to go 4 in a row, except tonight he won't just win in the National Road Series category. It looks like he's going to win the complete race, which is absolutely amazing effort. He's timed the move to perfection, and you've got to be stoked with that effort. Back in the women's race, I'll tell you what, I've been watching over on Zwift Power, and the KOM Financial team, I've talked them up every week. But again, with Anna J, who has absolutely sacrificed her race 100% for Bree Wilson tonight, she has been driving it on the front. And Bree Wilson has 2 teammates with her in Banner J and also Meg W. And they are absolutely trying their heart out to catch Samara Shepherd in
Cam
front.
Roberts, though,
Samara
here.
Shepherd, she is still staying.
Pat, Cam Roberts, across the line. What an amazing effort there. Takes down the win. Aiken almost able to hang on here for second. He does so just barely there at the line. What an amazing effort there. We did have, I know some of you saw it on screen there, Howell there, I believe, had a little bit of an issue there with his trainer. And that was why you saw him come flying by at the end there. So there was some sort of a lock there for his wattage there. But what an effort there by both Cam Roberts as well as Jack Aiken. First and second across the line, just absolutely demolished that late attack. I thought for sure it was coming all back together, and we were not going to see that kind of a situation at all. But, you know, the attack there from Aiken, countered by Roberts there, able to hold on and showing us that it's not always a sprint finish. Sometimes the risky moves, if you got the wattage, can make it happen there, Pat.
Yeah, for certain. And look, we spoke about it being an absolute leg snapper tonight, and towards the end it was that. Jack Aiken did that massive effort up the main climb, but it was Cam Roberts that closed it down, believing that he had the legs to go on with it. And certainly he did, because it was the next attack, which was Cam Roberts and Albie Kwani, who went out front. Then when that came back, Jack Aiken, to his credit, he went straight over the top, put the pressure on the group. But again, Cam Roberts, what did he have? He had all the answers tonight, and he's come home the winner, and the winner quite prominently. Glad to see Aiken hold on for the second place, and then Ollie Jones rounding out that top 3. So significantly strong group on the podium in the men's race.
Yeah, amazing effort all around there from the men. And Ollie Jones just, you know, holding off there the rest of the pack here. We're about to have a finish here from the women in just a moment here, but here is the men's race results here. Cam Roberts, Jack Aiken, Ollie Jones, Samuel Brandlin, Ryan Larson, followed by Stephen Kirchmer, Sam Lindsay, Alex West, Albie Lacoon. Help me with that last name there, Bradshaw?
Eel Kwani.
Yeah, Kwani. All right, I don't think I would have forgotten that one, no matter what kind of help I got there until that was. It's followed up by Lionel V. Austin there, suffering maybe a little bit from those early attacks Now the women's race here winding down as Samara Shepherd shows that she's got the ultimate TT on the day. in the Vision kit here off the front, the Kiwi. Looks like KOM now here trying to chase down Hancock's here for WLCC. Interesting to see a 16-second gap here. This rider is looking to ride away with it a little bit. Now, this is a NRS mixed with community race. Hancock's is on Z Power for those of you who are watching here. So unable to take a lot of times the race officially, but solid effort out there, and a good job and encouragement out there for putting out the effort. The heart rates are real, the efforts are real. That's for sure. But White House here now we are seeing along with the rest of this chase group here. They're just concerned about bringing Shepard back at this point. 18 seconds, 22 seconds. The speeds are coming up a little bit here. It's going to be still a battle. There's quite a bit of landscape to work with yet. And it's not a huge gap if they do get organized. They look to be doing so. Barrel here toward the front here. Now trying to put down about 5.1 watts per kilogram over this little hump of climb now. White House now, series leader, to the front, trying to chase down Shepard. Shepard now 32 seconds. It's come down by about 10 seconds since the last check. Now back up to 57. So the time gap's a little bit different here and there depending on what section of course they're on. Looks like Shepard with 1 minute at this point. I think it's said done. Shepard's going to take this down. And that's going to be a lot of solid points here for her in the series here. Now it's going to be a battle for second amongst these women.
Yeah, certainly, and you've got a strong trio here in particular. They're prominent already in the first 3 weeks. Georgia Whitehouse, Bree Wilson, and Taryn Heather in particular. Energy, she has really stood out for me tonight. Like, she was driving on the front, doing all the work. And at the end of this race, there's going to be very little left to compete for the points. But KOM Financial, once again, is going to have 3 riders in the top 7. That's a guarantee. Who can take out the sprint from behind to pick up those crucial second place points as Samara Shepard is going to take this one out, and she's going to take it out in even better style than Cam Roberts took out the men's.
Yeah, it looks like so. I mean, it's all about the climbing legs here for Shepard. She was able to walk away from the rest of the pack there on the climb. 52 seconds gap now at this point, still kicking solid wattages here now. It looks like Heather, though, along with Energy, working together toward the front here, still pushing into that over 5 watts per kilogram time, so they haven't completely given up. And I have a feeling they're going to start thinking, though, about the sprint situation. And the yellow kits is what I'll be watching out for. They got the numbers. Will we see a little bit of a cat and mouse, though, between them? Will they start playing some games, sending some riders out the front? Vero now, Justine, now we do see her making her way to the front here. Now Heather here from the Specialized Women's Racing in the red and black kit. Now to the front it is going to be Heather as well as Barrow again. Now taking over the front of this pack here. Trading efforts fairly well. Looks like they're working well together. No really holding hands or just looking at each other. As far as the riders that might be sitting in looking for the sprint, I think White House most likely is going to be the main rider they'll be working for. We do see her sitting in that 2.0, 3.5. You can see the effort here from White House. Not, the reality of just coming through and putting out what you need to stay involved in the pack. I have a feeling we're going to see a sprint from this one to try and take Bree Wilson down. This is the battle here, I think, in this pack. Bree Wilson, White House, 1 and 2.
Don't take your mind and don't take your eyes off Taryn Heather either. She's known for a good sprint to the line. So if she could pick up second place tonight, this would really push her up because she's in 4th, but she's only 1 point behind Bree Wilson, who is in 2nd overall, with Georgia Whitehouse leading the series. So this is going to be an incredible finish here, and this is really going to stick points into the pocket of whoever's got the strongest legs at the end of this race. And going into week 5 next week with just 2 weeks to go, the points are getting all so much more vital.
They definitely are. That's not a big difference between the riders actually out there. As we come into the finish here now, it looks like Heather now, you said she's going to be the one to watch out for, but MW here from KOM Financial now, she's off the front here, and it looks like with 11 watts per kilogram, can she hold on? Heather's trying to come through from Specialized Women's Racing, but no, Bree's coming over the top here, and it looks like for 2nd and 3rd, it is going to be Bree Wilson and Taryn Heather across the line, I believe. Samara Shepard did finish just a little ways back. We did, apologies on missing the finish for that there, but not a little ways back, but finished a little while ago. ahead of the rest of the women there. We're waiting for the official results across the line there, but amazing effort there from the women in the sprint. And let's take a quick look at the replay here and from this past sprint here amongst the men as they came across the line just a moment ago. And it was Cam Roberts here to the line off the front, easily walking away with that. It looks like about 12 seconds over Aiken. Aiken then just look at it. He's able to even put his hands in the air, 1.3 watts per kilogram. Then we did see Aiken here, comes right to the line and has to give a little bit of a kick, 7.5 watts per kilogram. Kirschmer there, 14 watts per kilogram. Brandlin there, Ollie Jones. I mean, they were right there. Almost didn't make it to the line there. Amazing effort, though, all around. And, you know, Cam Roberts, shout out to him again as he was able to hold on to the finish. So, or the women's, we're still waiting for the results to come on in here. You know, as far as the preliminary results, we are able to bring those in here in just a moment. We're still waiting for the officials to load over on the feed coming in here on the broadcast. But it is a close race in the women's series right now as far as the points go. You said there's only 1 point separating Wilson, did you say, as well as Heather out there? I mean, that's a...
Yeah.
I mean, and Bree's sitting in second. That means first, second, and third are all within about 1 point.
Well, they're all very close, and tonight with Bree Wilson taking a few extra points on Georgia Whitehouse, that's really going to shake everything up. So the women's race, as often we see now, is looking like it's going to be more exciting to watch in the final 2 weeks than what the men's racing is. And you know, I say it a lot, but it's often the case that we see them fight harder and they have a more interesting race. And tonight, they really put it to them. Samara Shepherd, she didn't wait around for anyone. She's definitely won very well, but she did it the hardest way possible. But back in the group, Bree Wilson picking up vital points. Same with Taryn Heather. So Georgia Whitehouse, Taryn Heather, and also Bree Wilson will go into next week's race only probably within 7 points of one another, and it's going to really be who can finish in the first 2 spots for the last 2 weeks and pick up major points.
Yeah, for sure. Now looking at the final sprint here, I got the quick little replay between the women there, and it was a pretty amazing effort there. We did see Heather here trying to hold on and trying to get the break and grab those extra points. But Bree Wilson, the KOM, I think, were marking her at the line here. So you see them, you know, taking that second and third spot pretty easily. So I think it was just watching those who were amongst them in order to take as many points as they possibly could. Here we do have the results here. Shamara Shepard came across 45 seconds ahead of the rest. Make W there for KOM and Bree Wilson, as we said. Solid effort by them in order to hold on to those points and the podium. Taryn Heather there tried leading things out, but unable to hold on to the line there. Justine Barrow there for 5th, and then Katie Banerjee for 6th. It looks like Bree Vine for Bay Australia there in 7th. Holly Harris there for Specialized Women Racing in 8th place. Kendall Hodges there in 9th place, followed by Chevron, Aerosmith, and KOM as well. So solid effort all around from these women, and amazing racing again in the Transcendent Series. Race number 4. It's going to be 6 races in total, right, Pat? So still 2 races to go. And don't miss out on any action for your ability to race against NRS racers out on Zwift.
And pick yourself up potentially a SRAM Force Access group set valued at $2,800 or thereabouts US dollars, which is crazy prize, but it is absolutely brilliant prize, and they've done a great job in crafting out that group set. But don't forget as well, Thursday nights we've got the Chop Series as well, Nathan, and that was a ripper on last Thursday with A grade taking out 3 weeks in a row. So A grade, they're definitely not taking it out this week.
Yeah, we need the A grade to get challenged. I mean, it's come kind of close, but again, Chop Thursdays, community, all about community racing right there. If you want to jump into any race, obviously jump into the Transcendent Series, chance to win some prizes, but then also race against NRS racers for sure, but also the Chop, all about category, team time trialing. These categories, C category, B category, A category, all racing against each other in a handicap race. And hopefully we see the A's challenged this week here. Now, race number 5 is going to be next week. The World is going to be London. It's going to be on the Greatest London Loop for the SRAM 7 Series. Make sure to mark your calendars for that next week, Tuesday. We also have the Classics that are starting up tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot going on Zwift, as well as we just saw the exclusive launch of the Zwift Academy. So thanks everybody for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit those follow buttons to make sure that you know anytime that we go live with any of this stuff. And you'll get notifications, and if you turn that notification bell on. Congratulations to all the riders. Thanks to all the viewers for hanging out and all the chat I saw over on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, as well as Mixer. And as always, ride on.